Okay, Fred.
Yeah, Fred.
I'd like to call to order the meeting for the Board of County Commissioners for April 13th, 2021. Would you all please stand for the prayer by Commissioner Hill, and then we'll do the pledge.
Wait on Mr. Clay.
He's late.
Heavenly Father, once again, want to thank you, honored to be in your presence, Lord. We ask you for your guidance amongst this board, amongst our citizens' protection, Lord. We ask you that, and all in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Willan, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, sir. We have one addition under section 1, number 18, request board review of the Families First Coronavirus Response Act by Judy Austin.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
I
sir.
move to approve the agenda. Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Pate to approve and a second by Commissioner Donifro. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
Actually, it was Commissioner Hill.
Commissioner Hill, you gotta speak up. You're on my left side. Eh? Okay. I'm sorry. Everyone has had an opportunity, I assume, to review the agenda. Do I hear a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
items?
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Donifro, second by Commissioner Hill to approve the consent agenda items. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. All right. Ms. Judy Austin.
Good morning, Commissioners, Mr. Chairman. This morning, I'm going to present the service awards for January through March of 2021 for those people that attained service of 5, 10, 15, or 20 years. Yeah, I have those. If you're with your president, then when I call his name, you come forward. Mr. Commissioner Peacock or Chairman Peacock will present to you your award. They should be in order. Okay, our first award goes to Ethan Carter. Mr. Carter holds the position of Regional Crop Agent with the Agricultural Department. He has been recognized for 5 years of continuous service. Ethan, stand over here. Stand over there. Our next award goes to Joseph, we call him Cody Land. Mr. Land holds the position of paramedic firefighter with Jackson County Fire and Rescue. He's been recognized for 5 years of continuous service. I believe they couldn't be here. They're having to clean up after a fire or something. The next award goes to Wendy Schlesinger. Ms. Schlesinger holds the position of Director of Community Development. She is also being recognized for 5 years of continuous service. Get a picture. The next award goes to William Goff. Mr. Goff holds the position of Equipment Operator 2 with the Public Transportation Department. He has been recognized for 10 years of continuous service.
Thank you.
Miss Judy. Is that your paramedic?
No, that's Marcus.
Okay.
And the next award goes to Marcus Bellamy, Captain Marcus Bellamy. Mr. Bellamy holds the position of Captain, Paramedic, and Firefighter with Jackson County Fire and Rescue. He is being recognized for 15 years of continuous service.
Lynn, come over here. I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
Everyone.
I want to get a group picture.
Probably had to move the podium. Smile, Bill.
Thank y'all for all your hard work. We appreciate it and look forward to doing another one.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Cynthia Alvarez. Would you come up, please, and bring Benjamin with you? Come on up. How are y'all today?
Just fine, how are you?
Good. Benjamin, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. You can take your mask off. I'm hard of hearing.
Okay. You ready for it?
We're ready.
Okay, Benjamin.
National Autism Acceptance Month 2021. With the Jackson County Board of County Commissioners proclamation. Whereas in 1970, the Autism Society launched an ongoing nationwide effort to promote autism awareness and ensure that all affected by autism are able to achieve the highest quality of life possible. In 1972, the Autism Society launched the first annual National Autistic Children's Week, which had evolved in Autism Acceptance Month, and whereas April has widely been known as Autism Awareness Month in the United States as a way to empower autistic individuals and their families, and is known as Autism Acceptance Month. Further recognizing the value of autistic citizens at the society, and whereas the shift in the use of terminology aims to foster acceptance to ignite change through improved support and opportunities in education, employment, accessible housing, affordable healthcare, and comprehensive long-term services, and as advocates for autistic individuals and individuality throughout our nation have a long-standing history of using the term acceptance as a means of more fully integrating, and whereas during this month of appreciation, the Jackson County Board of County Commissioners Board recognizes the men, women, and youth with autism, their achievements, and the impact autistic individuals have on our community. Whereas the board seeks to spread awareness, promote acceptance, and ignite change in Jackson County. Now, therefore, Jackson County, Florida does hereby proclaim April 2021 as National Autism Acceptance Month, and asks all county residents to observe April as such by celebrating differences and becoming more inclusive of individuals with autism. In witness whereof, this 13th day of April in the year of our Lord 2021.
Thank you, Benjamin.
You're welcome.
For our guest that may not know Ms. Cynthia, she is deeply involved with the autism program that we have established and we're working on out at Dozers or Endeavor. And she's doing a good job, and we appreciate everything she's doing. And Benjamin, we appreciate you coming and reading this proclamation to us. So we will definitely be considering this at this point. I suspect we'll get a motion to approve from somebody.
Mr. Chairman. Oops, go ahead.
I move
Mr.
we
McKinney.
accept and recognize Dr. Simone.
Okay,
Proclamation.
we have a motion by Commissioner McKinney. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Pate. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Well, Ann, were we supposed to approve a day off in for these,
That was
okay,
monthly, that's monthly, for the month.
that's the
before,
monthly, okay. All right, just wanted to make sure we
Yeah.
got it straight.
They wouldn't all like it.
Oh, I'm sure. Okay. Do we have Josh Adams? Josh, come on up.
Hey there, good morning, commissioners. Thank you all so much for having me this morning. I've got my little presentation here on my phone. I think that y'all have it in your package. Yeah, I just have a really brief presentation for y'all about the Appalachia Resilience Collaborative that the ARPC signed into being back in November of 2020. So to give you a brief overview of that memorandum of understanding, exactly what it is, the proposed structure that we have outlined for the proposed collaborative, and then some of those benefits of joining on, being a part of the Resilience Collaborative. So the ARPC signed the MOU in 2020, and what it does is establish a resilience collaborative. There's a few throughout the state now, and we want to go ahead and get this structure stood up so that we're able to start taking advantage of funds that are coming down both federal and state pipelines. A little bit more about that later on. And it's non-binding. It's strictly to serve as a forum to information share the different resilience actions that are taking place in our region. We want to make it member driven by our local elected officials. So they'll serve at the top, kind of a final check on any initiatives that are going forward. And the goal is to reduce duplicity of efforts when applying for various grants and looking into some best management practices around the region. And the final goal, or one of the documents that is going to come out of this, is an action plan where we listen into all the different counties, municipalities, hear what they would like to see as far as resiliency, and put that into a plan to be able to draw down, calling on the plan, any sort of funds that will become available later on. And so Governor DeSantis, as well as President Simpson, and then also House Speaker Sprowls, have all been very supportive of resiliency collaboratives. They take different shapes and flavors around the state, but they're even talking about funding such endeavors. So getting this established now in a few months' time, and after session's over, will allow us to start to take advantage of those funds that are being stood up. So the right now it's we just have a very basic framework. At the top would be a steering committee, executive committee that is right now the ARPC executive board. And then there'd be a working group that consists of higher level county staffers, folks from the engineering planning departments, commissioners, if y'all able to join, and then another arm that would be the private sector, just so that we're abreast of kind of industry standards that are coming up from their side. So they're allowed to give input, but by no means are driving this. We really want our local officials to be supportive and basically kind of driving that process. So resiliency has been a big buzzword. Before resiliency, it was green infrastructure. Before that, it was natural features to basically offset different climate impacts or extreme weather. And Merriam-Webster just defines it as the ability to return the original size and shape after being compressed or deformed, or ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. So we're already really doing that now at the ARPC, and this just really codifies that, kind of makes it stand alone from everything else that we're currently doing, so we can keep track of everything going on, and maybe be able to get those different funding sources that I spoke about. So benefits or why to join, final a little bit of the presentation here. So the goal of the collaborative is to see a return on investment in our community. By identifying the region's resiliency deficits, we can map those out, set goals and specific policies to be able to address those, serve as a centralized forum for resilience-related initiatives in the region, and then to identify common resiliency needs so that grants can be pursued. So I promise it would be short. That's it. So if y'all have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them.
Do we have any questions?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hill to accept. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Donovan. All of those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, 5-0.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Josh. Okay. Zach, you're up. You want to bring Darwin with you? Okay. I didn't want to ignore you, Darwin.
Good morning, y'all. Thank you for having me. I'm Zach Gilmore with Jackson EDC, and I'm just here to give y'all a quick update on our Q1 activities for Jackson EDC. So we are currently working 24 leads and 33 projects, with all of those including advanced manufacturing, logistics and distribution, aerospace and aviation, medical and healthcare, entrepreneurship, value-added ag, and et cetera. Over the last 3 months, we've served on multiple local and regional boards, taking part in multiple meetings and discussions regarding local and regional broadband. Wrote a rural infrastructure grant last year that we were awarded to keep an existing business from relocating outside of the county, which saved almost 100 jobs. We have been working with Gulf Power and their Florida First Sites program to certify new sites and recertify existing certified sites. We have received grants to help fund this effort. So certifying a site, just for everyone here that doesn't know what that means, it offers a detailed analysis by an international site selection firm, completes due diligence items, reduces risk factors, accelerates speed to market, and cuts site development costs. We've completed business retention and expansion visits with currently operating Jackson County businesses, participated in Endeavor Park discovery sessions with First Place Arizona, attended several meetings in response to the $15 an hour minimum wage change. We discussed and planned trade shows and site selector missions to attend this year. Mentoring sessions with multiple IADC consultants. We were awarded grants from Enterprise Florida to improve marketing and enhance development efforts within our community. We worked with Josh and Appalachia Regional Planning Council on Phase 1 grant possibilities and also their revolving loan fund program. We did attend the 2020 Economic Forum led by Jackson County Chamber and Dr. Jerry Parrish. We met with community development to get a better understanding of their jobs and what we can do to assist when working with companies. We're currently working, and actually I'm going, as soon as I get done here, I'm leaving to go meet with our marketing team to discuss and finalize our county overview video. We have continued preparations with West Florida Electric, Power South, Leota Strategies, in a strategic sites inventory of West Florida Electric served properties that are currently zoned ag and have the feasibility to be an industrial site. We've attended trainings available through the Florida Rural Economic Development Association, and we've participated in numerous meetings to include Opportunity Florida, Florida's Great Northwest, and Enterprise Florida. And then my final thing, as released on March 26th, Cowan Systems LLC is proud to announce the development of a new terminal in Marianna. With over 90 years of experience, Cowan Systems specializes in dedicated truckload, intermodal, warehousing, brokerage, and driver staffing. The new terminal will temporarily be located in the Marianna Airport Commerce Park on a 5-acre parcel with plans to develop a permanent location at the Marianna Jackson County Distribution Services Park adjacent to I-10. We received the project lead from our regional partner, Florida's Great Northwest, in February and hosted the company for a site visit in March. We worked with Florida's Great Northwest, Opportunity Florida, the Jackson County Board of County Commissioners, the City of Marianna, and Chipola College to meet the needs of Cowan Systems LLC and help them make the decision to locate in Jackson County. Officials from Cowan Systems LLC said the new addition further solidifies Cowan Systems as one of the leading transportation companies on the East Coast. We are thankful and excited for our new partnership with Jackson County and the City of Marianna. The brand new terminal will create up to 100 truck driving positions and multiple office roles. Drivers will be offered state-of-the-art equipment, a full network of support, and regional driving options that provide opportunities to run our full network east of the Mississippi. We look forward to providing employment opportunities for the great people of Marianna and surrounding areas. We can't wait to get to work. The company, based in Baltimore, Maryland, will initially employ 50 drivers with office support staff, with the goal of employing 100 total drivers. Employment opportunities are currently available. Interested parties should contact the team at CareerSource Chipola for more information. Jackson EDC would like to thank all parties involved in helping with this project and making it come to fruition. These parties include, but are not limited to, Florida's Great Northwest, Opportunity Florida, Jackson County BOCC, City Marianna, and Chipola College. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Yes. Any questions? Questions?
Just a comment, Zach, of course, I don't have as much historical precedence of being new to the board, but it certainly seems like you guys have been busy over the last couple of months. I guess is part of that due to kind of coming out of COVID now and seeing a lot more activity. Is that kind of a fair assessment?
We believe so. We expected a little bit of a boom, but we didn't expect it this fast. So we have been flooded with project leads and interest in this area, but we're very happy about it for sure.
Zach, you indicated they were going to the airport initially,
Yes, sir.
then to the industrial park. Where in the industrial park? I think?
We don't, well, they're going to be out at the distribution services part.
Yes.
And so we're not 100% sure which lot they're going to locate on yet.
How much space do they need?
They need about 20 acres. So
Okay.
we've been talking with them, but their main concern was, hey, let's just get on out there, get operational, and then, you know, within 6 months to a year, hopefully find a home for them out there.
Well, we do have our industrial site out there that could be an ideal location for them.
Right. Okay. Well, we have discussed that with them, and again, we're going to be further in discussion with them on exactly where they want to locate and what will be best for their company. And we're just trying to get them here and get them operational and get them. We're trying to get them 50 drivers too, so they can get up and running, you know. And then they're going to decide.
That's a chore.
Definitely. But CareerSource Chipola has been a huge help.
Will those truck drivers be actual direct employees of Cowan? So they'll
Yes, sir.
actually be employees?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Are they over the road truckers or local truckers?
Local.
What about these trade shows? Have you identified some that you are planning on attending?
We have identified some. I don't have a list with me, but we have like FEDC is down in Tampa or Orlando. The IADC conference is in Nashville later on this year. We are going to the MRO show later in this month.
You're using a lot of acronyms. What are they?
Maintenance, repair, and overhaul. So it's like aviation related stuff later on this month. FEDC is the Florida Economic Development Council. IADC is the International Economic Development Council.
Anything else?
Along with some others that I
What's
can't
the,
think of at the moment.
what's the salary range on those drivers? Has that been advertised?
It is, yes, sir. And I believe its starting pay is 44 cents a mile, I believe is what the starting is. So it totally, but then there's some certain thresholds that you can make more money. And if you go to a certain, past a certain location, they'll pay you extra cents per mile as well. And from what I understand, there's some good benefits too.
Do they guarantee X number of miles?
I believe that it said they guarantee 23 to 2,600 miles a week.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Zach, get back to work. Thank you.
Thank y'all very much. Y'all have a blessed day. You too.
Okay, Miss Sarah Sun from the Sheriff's Department.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here to request reimbursement from JCSO Training Funds in the amount of $4,044.03 for the cost of Deputy Arroyo to attend K-9 training in Houston, Texas, for Captain Arnold to attend flight safety seminars in St. Augustine, Florida, and for Sheriff Edenfield to attend the 2021 FSA Winter Conference.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hill, a second by Commissioner Donifro. One question by Commissioner Pate.
Where does the budget, I mean, where does that money come from?
These are JCSO training funds.
Your training dollars.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sarah.
Captain Johnson advised me that he's next, but that he would be appearing by phone and Fred would announce.
Okay.
So, thank
Yes.
you.
All right. Jeff, are you there? Where'd Fred go?
I'm here. He's got to hit *6 to unmute himself.
You sound like you're under 3 barrels.
Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. You're breaking up, but go ahead.
Yes, sir. Just ask that the board approve this MOU between all the counties in Region 1 for a 5-year federal grant to get us the next step to the next generation 911 preparation. What that is, it's a effort for all the counties to maintain the same GIS information. So they're all interoperable throughout the region. Should our 911 system fail, it'll roll automatically to another county. They'll have our maps and our local information to answer all of our calls for us, and vice versa.
So move, Mr. Chairman. I got a question.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hill. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner McKinney. Commissioner Hill has a question.
What's the accuracy on this new 911 system we're getting on as far as radius and geographics?
It's supposed to be 98% or better.
Any more questions? Okay. Thank you, Jeff. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0. Ms. Renee.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners.
Good morning.
So I'm presenting to you today a resolution to adopt the Comprehensive Emergency Management Plan. It has a 5-year review every 5 years. It was checked out by the ARPC. Of course, we reviewed it again, and when it was submitted to the state, it has been approved. So I'm asking that you sign the resolution to adopt this 5-year plan.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hill, a second by Commissioner Donifro. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Renee. Okay. Mr. Rhett, it's your time.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
My first request is for board adoption of a resolution to allow me to apply for a Florida Boating Improvement Program through WC to expand the parking at Howell's Landing on Lake Seminole.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill. Is there a second?
And this will need
I hear a
chairman's
second by
signature, too,
Commissioner
sorry.
Donifro. Are there any questions?
Yeah, and I know it's in here, but how many additional parking spaces is this going to create?
So the footprint is 1.6 acres, and we're gonna have to incorporate stormwater retention, and we're still working on the site plan, so we don't have that exact number. So we've been working with Road and Bridge, and they've been developing the scope and the cost. So I'll be using that to put through with my numbers to go, apply for the grant, and then once we get some more things ironed out, I can come back with
I
that.
mean, but the idea is to add or provide additional parking.
Oh, absolutely. So currently
Is it
we're
about an acre you're adding?
1.6.
1.6.
Yeah, so right now we've got 29 spaces. We're shooting to have around 100 when we're all said and done. Depending on how it lays out.
But this is for trucks and boat trailers.
Yes, sir. Truck and boat trailer.
Commissioner Hill?
Is that gonna be part of that 7 acres that the state gave us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is it gonna obviously directly attach to the current one?
Right. So the way we got it laid out is it'll be directly above the boat ramp. So it'll be on the upper side of the current parking lot.
Sure.
And we'll make a loop drive, basically where there's a one way in, one way out. And then, like I said, we'll curve it, stripe it, have a retention area, and have it built the best we can.
You won't actually develop any type of preliminary site plan until you're notified whether you get the grant or will?
We're working on it right now,
Okay,
so
you'll
we
have a
just
site plan.
basically went out, I met with Scotty and Kenny and looked at the layout, gave them a survey, and they're working on just like amounts and labor. A lot, the site's got stumps and trees and debris is still on it, so, that was a cost, and then come in with a lime rock base and then asphalt. So basically, we just got an estimate on materials and labor right now. But yeah, so Scotty and them guys have been working on that for me.
Once you get something kind of preliminarily laid out, can I get a copy of that?
Sure, absolutely.
This is part of the comprehensive plan for Lake Seminole, isn't it?
Yes, sir. This was an approved measure in the master plan for Lake Seminole through the Corps of Engineers.
Ms. Daniels?
I just wanted to clarify that you're actually asking them to adopt the resolution, right?
Yes. The
Danielle just
resolution,
likes that to be clarified usually.
I forgot that. So the resolution obviously will need the chairman's signature, so that's usually
not
an
a problem.
additional ask.
Okay, that was your motion, right? Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Rhett.
Yes, sir. And secondly, I have a request for approval for final pay application for Whitaker Company. When they finished up the dock and handrail, or gangway, sorry, not handrail, gangway and the concrete work at Howells. So this will be closing out FBIP project from last year.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Hill. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner McKinney. Are there any questions?
Assume that the project met expectations.
Yes, sir. And there's I've tried to put a copy or a picture of the completed project. If you hadn't had a chance to go by and take a look at it, it's
It
pretty
looks
nice. I'm
good.
really proud of it.
It's good.
Any more questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Rhett. Hunter Potts.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Hello. The first item I have here is requesting board approval of an economic development incentive agreement between Jackson County and DDCU LLC.
Okay.
Who that?
Uh,
So it's an organization, John Downs organization.
yeah.
Basically, we're giving them 100 acres to utilize to build industrial type buildings on the site.
I move the board approve the request.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Pate, second by Commissioner Hill. Are there any questions? Hearing,
One quick, this is the one on 162, or this is?
No.
Oh, Endeavor, okay, very good.
Okay.
This is at the corner of Hope Church Road in Mashburn, right?
no.
It's actually.
The
No, it's
survey
back
should be
down
in your
Mashburn
packet, so
Road.
you should be able to see it. But it is on Mashburn Road. I believe it's on the
About a half a mile.
south side.
It's near that Blue Sky project.
Okay, well, I thought that was at the corner of Hope Church Road.
No,
It's
sir.
about a mile this way.
New
I think I measured it.
New Hope.
No, if you all look in your packet at the legal description, or it is at the corner of New Hope, but it
New
goes
Hope.
100 acres, it goes all the way over. So if you look on page, well, not, my pages aren't the same as y'all's.
Corner of New Hope and Mashburn.
Right. My understanding was it was supposed to butt up against the Blue Sky project, which is 2,300 feet off of Penn Avenue, because that's where we paved into.
So David Melvin might could help us with this because he worked with, I believe, Mr. Downs on identifying the location and with Lee.
They don't pick it.
Right, yeah, so it is adjacent to Blue Sky.
Yeah, but-
You go down Mashburn, if you went straight into it, that's the Blue Sky.
Right, we-
10 acres, and this 100 acres picks up from there and goes all the way over to.
Also, the 100 acres, he's gonna try to get the most western part of the 100 acres. Okay,
All the way
okay.
to Hope Church
Okay.
Road.
Yeah. So it's.
Okay, I got you now. I was
starts,
thinking-
From the Blue Sky.
But I thought, they chose that location versus the one closer to Blue Sky project, right? It
It's
looks like-
actually adjacent to
It's
this.
adjacent, yeah.
Right, but the 100 acres is, but the location is where they're putting the building at? Is that what we're looking at?
No, he's gonna put several buildings.
Okay, several. Okay, I got you. I was thinking this one. All right, I got you now.
First right of
Sure,
refusal.
right, sure.
So it's
Okay.
all frontal, road front?
Yeah, so it's the road front of Mashburn all the way to New Hope Road, but it's just option, and I believe the way that it's worded, if you have a project that comes along, you can put a project
Right, right.
That's correct.
It just gives him the option to utilize those 100 acres.
One more question. Is there any opportunity to pave that past that 2,300 foot mark on Mashburn for where Blue Sky can be done? To the end of New Hope, is there any DEO or?
We,
It needs it.
Yeah, I mean, we get,
well, we have requested, will Ann help me with this? We requested
For the design,
from who? I can't.
for the legislator.
Okay,
That was one
so
of our
legislative
legislative
requests.
requests.
Trying to get
So
the
We're
design.
watching for grant funds to be able to do that. We'll go far enough. We've kind of got a project in work that may be the first one for him to utilize this. And our paving in the Mashburn Road, the phase 1, we think will go far enough past Blue Sky to do a second building there. But yeah, looking for funds to continue that on over to New Hope Road as well. Yeah.
So-
One more
Does this-
question.
Does this kind of block all the land behind it?
Well.
Are we
it's-
planning on a road
it's
in
kinda
there
like
somewhere?
If you laid out 10-acre lots, because you never know what size building, it's kind of like you'd have a front 10-acre and then this 100 acre is still another 10-acre behind that, so.
probably need to think about that, put it in
and-
the access
and-
road.
Yeah.
And in the agreement, we would leave as soon as something happened, you'd make a road that would go
Okay.
to the back of
Because we don't
that.
want to block
It's
off
just,
that.
there's no need to designate it right now, because first project may take 20 acres or it may take 5 acres, and so, yeah. So we'll make sure that it doesn't get blocked, that wherever the first project lands, we'll
This
leave
is
a
on the
right of
north
way.
side of Mashburn?
What's that? Yeah, we'll leave a right of way across this 100 acres.
You may want a couple of them, David, because that's a
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just see how.
Go ahead.
I'll switch gears real quick. On the Hoosier Road aspect, we got the money for the design build on that one. Where are we at on that?
Yes, please.
Because
say,
that's
Red.
Yeah.
endless on this.
Ready to pay.
I mean, I'm getting calls, it's not even my district.
Well,
I know you are, so, I mean, it's just been,
fighting this fight for 7 years.
I spoke with, Rod yesterday, and, he hoped to have, the 90% to me first of the week. They're, with the link that they had to do some retention pond, and they were having some issues with them, but, he said he hoped by the first week to have the 90% to us
and that's just,
Detention ponds?
for all that stormwater and everything that on down at the other end.
At Poozer? I mean, at
But
the
this is
end.
at the
Center
other
Brook.
end, not on the end that's already flooded, but down on the other end.
We said the other end, the west end.
Well, it's down by,
Oh, it's in that-
oh, wow, I didn't know that was flooding on it.
It's not been flooded, but when you
Okay.
pave the road and all that, when everything comes in, you gotta put the water somewhere.
Question
Put it in
relative.
ditches, but where, it's gotta go somewhere.
Question relative to that is the connection between the south end of Wind Street, which I think is paved all the way to the city limits, all the way to Pusher Road. Is that county maintained road there? From the south end of where Wind Street stops, the paving of Wind Street, which is way up close to Jennings Field, all the way down that hill past Redbug Hill. Is that county property there or is that city property?
I would have to look, it's
You
kind
talking
of.
about that messed up area in
Yeah,
there?
right in
That's
there on
city.
South Street and
Wind
all that, a
Street.
bunch of stuff right in
From
there.
Pusher Road north of Wind Street.
I have to look at it because it's.
Some of
kinda-
that's the city.
Some of it
it's
is,
the
and some
county.
of it isn't, but I'll look at it, I'll write it down, I'll look at it and get with you.
Well, I guess my bigger question, David, was is when are we looking at the pavement aspect? Also, this preaching stuff.
Mashburn?
Yeah, man, I know,
No,
Poozer.
Poozer.
So Hunter can
Yes, sir.
actually answer that. It's on the HMGP list.
I mean, a time frame. I mean, is it a year?
So the funding aspect comes from the HMGP grant, which we had an application for, so they're continuously under review of that. So, I mean, I think we're in the final stages of that review, so hopefully you would see an agreement come from them to accept that, hopefully maybe in the spring of, or summer of this year.
Okay.
So we'll keep you updated on that. And then also with this agreement, in 60 days, they're supposed to send us a site plan of where they want to do their building, so that would also come before you as well, so.
All right. Any more questions?
What building?
The
This building, for this agreement, for the industrial building.
the possibility. There is
Oh.
one coming.
So like the agreement, this
David, I'll
economic
look at
development agreement says in 60 days, you provide the county with a site plan of where your buildings would go and the temporary layout and everything.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
I need to recuse myself from this. I potentially could have a conflict of interest. I have been having some conversations with a group that's potentially building a building there, and I'm going to recuse myself from this.
Okay, so we have, you voted positive, right?
Yeah, but I made the motion.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Pete, you said the motion.
All right.
Second the motion.
Motion carries 4-1 with Commissioner Donifro recusing himself, conflict of interest. All right.
That'd be 4-0.
4-0.
Yeah,
4-0.
4-0, yeah.
Okay, next item is board approval of a generator service contract under 2021-11 with Thompson Tractor.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
A motion by Commissioner Hill, a second by Commissioner Donifro. Any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Okay.
Hunter, you have the next one.
Sure. This is a request to accept the highest offer for the sale of the procurement 2021-14 for the surplus mobile home at the Campbellton Fire Station in the amount of $8,230.
We have a motion by Commissioner Pate, a second by Commissioner Hill. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Next one is yours also.
Okay, this is a request to approve the work authorization for completion of the Spanish Trail and Endeavor Commerce Park certifications with the continuing service contract with David H. Melvin Engineering.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hill. Is there a second by Commissioner Donifro? I do have a question on that. David, has this grant been approved? What's the status of this grant request on the certification?
Certification,
Recertification.
yeah, we put the governor announced it is approved, and we've sent back
Scope of work details and
the scope of work. I don't know that you've got the agreement back from the state yet. So it's approved, but the
Certification.
agreement's not signed.
And so the request says in there that the work authorization is contingent upon.
Endeavor and Spanish Trail.
This is getting us lined up to be able to accept it.
Okay, any more questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Next, Mr. Hunter.
Okay. Our last item here is the board approval of a Civitech service agreement regarding existing payment processing services. So this is the Civitech is the payment processing software we use for the credit cards. So this is a chip reader so that we can take chip cards instead of having to scan it every time.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hill. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Pate. Any questions?
This doesn't really change there's no substantive changes to the previous agreement.
No, so historically, the contract has always been with the clerk's office, the Civitech service. And so what this is, basically it's kind of twofold. One, we're getting a new product with the EMV chip readers. And the other one is that the services between the clerk's office and the county office is kind of a little bit different requirements. So they just want a separate agreement. That way they could separate the service from the clerk and the BOCC. It's no cost to the county as long as you spend over, or you process over $120,000 throughout the year.
Which historically we've been doing.
Yeah, historically we did over 200,000 last year, but now when we cutting the building fees, that could offset the cost. That could, potentially impact us. What they'll possibly be on the hook for is for the card readers, which is $300 a piece for those. We're getting 7 of those, so potential cost there for us.
Mr. Rooks, you've used this service for some time, right?
Yes, sir.
Good service out of them?
Yes, sir. And the reason they're separating it is they had to do some things over in Tallahassee, separating this potential service from the Clerks Association.
Mm-hmm.
So the Clerks Association still owns Civitech.
Oh, they own it.
They own Civitech.
Okay.
And so they're offering the same service, but they're going back and redoing the contracts. So they got contracts with the clerk's office. And this contract, we've been operating under that umbrella before. Now this contract is directly
with the county.
I got a question.
Okay.
Why is it that we spend $200,000 a year with them and we have to pay for the machines to operate them?
So that is out of their service fee. So every time you swipe the card, it's 3.5%
Right.
of the service fee. So that's how they make their money back for.
But they're not charging
Yes,
you
you
for
don't have to pay.
the card readers unless you go below that amount.
Okay, I don't.
All right, any more questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hunter. Scotty Taylor.
Morning, Chairman and board members. Got one item here, the request for the board for approval of the 8 mowing position for the fiscal year 2020-21 to the 8 mowing pro. I guess we're gonna do it in we're gonna work 6 months from, is it March?
Well, we really just want to discuss it with the board to consider. So the challenge we have is that if they work any time over 6 months, we have to pay retirement. So we're trying to set it up where we don't pay retirement, because that was the entire premise behind $15 an hour, was to have no benefits attached. So meeting with the chairman the other day, just sort of brainstorming solutions, we came up with staggering them. So hiring 4 of your mowers March through September and 4 April through October. So you would have a full 6-month period from April to September, with your full 8 tractors running. And then March and October, you would have 4 running. So it'd be kind of like ramping up and ramping down, but that would keep you at 6 months only. So we don't end up back paying retirement if they go over 6 months. So that's what we're just throwing out there as one option to alleviate the retirement.
Historically, these positions have not been hard to fill, correct?
Not at the
We've done
15.
Not at
time.
15. And there's been no turnover, absolutely no turnover. We had one young man that left last year during Sally because he had the opportunity to go and make some more money there. But other than that, that's the only turnover that we had.
But and I'm the one that came up with the staggering, so we're open to
Well,
suggestion.
March didn't work out because I hadn't seen the mower. We're halfway in April and we
Mine
got
looks good.
ryegrass almost.
Well, we just got the other 2 guys hired. So, I mean, I got to look and see where we are. I hadn't looked at that this morning, but like I said, they just started Monday. The other 2, we only had 6. We had 6 positions that weren't filled, but we only filled them.
So this really ain't mattering this year.
Well, 6 months put you in October then.
Well, if you already hired 6 in March,
There's all 6 positions, all 8 positions are filled. So what we got to look at is when these had started, you know.
So
we're
this
gonna
year
restart
may be
them
a
in March.
little challenging, and we just have to navigate how we can cut it off at 6 months, but still give y'all plenty of mowing coverage. But the whole goal here is to have 6 solid months of 8 tractors running. It would ramp up, ramp down with 4 in March, 4 in October. Or the other option is, and it's a perfectly good option, is to lower what you pay per hour, pay the retirement, and then not worry about the 6 months. But we've already hired them at 15.
Well, why wouldn't we just throw a week break in the middle of this?
You can't.
You can't do
I
that.
thought you said 6 continuous.
It's, if the
So what
Vision
was,
of retirement looks at it as a whole. Yeah, it's easy to say, well, we'll just let you off for a day and then we'll rehire you. But, you know, if it looks like. it
well,
does-
staggering wouldn't throw an alarm at that same rate? I see the premise is just.
But staggering, you still only have those people who are only there
Yeah.
for 6 months.
Right, and then
They
they're
come,
off,
they
they're
stay
off,
6.
really off, then they're off.
They overlap.
so
Go ahead.
after 6 months, you're sending them home.
That group will go home for, it's a month, isn't it?
That group.
No.
We got to get it lined out with
It's
how it works.
6 months in
They
a
go-
calendar year.
They go
Period.
home. They don't work no more.
That's right.
That's right.
And we
But
have
that
a
ain't what we
system,
did last time.
we have a
And
system.
we had to go back and pay some retirement
Yeah,
too.
that's what I'm saying. We
So
With
gotta
the
do what we're
aspect of
saying.
training, how's it working out for us, the new hirees, for us, getting them acclimated to the.
That's, both of the ones that we put in those positions, already ran mowers before. So, I mean, they hit the ground running.
In my conversation with Will Ann, excuse me, Chairman, but in my conversation with Will Ann, we now have a system in place to make sure that those employees, when they're coming up on their 6-month time for termination, we're not going to allow them to run over that.
Right. So we just need direction from y'all on how you'd like us to handle it.
Scotty, can we have,
Go ahead.
can we have a map of where they're gonna be at? I mean, we're getting calls, just like graders. Can we have a map of where they'll be? I mean, that's one reason why I made a motion for GPS. I don't know where that's floating out there somewhere, I
Got them
guess.
in my hand just today.
But, we need to have some type, even with the graders, so, without the rare session, where they're gonna be at, because it's getting now, especially as you well know, over the rain, it's getting to where I can't tell them when they're gonna be there, and they, it's just, so if we could have that for the graders and the mowers, that'd be nice to be able to track that.
Well, we're supposed to get that last year.
Scotty, what is the possibility, instead of hiring 8, go 10 and use 2 of them on brush cutters?
I've said all along.
I know we
that
got a brush cutter sitting there.
We got that one, and then we could bring another one into the mix, because there's a lot of times that there's one setting. I mean, I've said all along that the brush cut needs to come over with it. You don't want to take those people away from the crew. But there's a lot of days that the brush cutter, you'd be shorthanded, so the guy that's running the brush cutter ends up having to do something else.
But if we hired 2 people in addition to the 8 and let them do the same thing, you could actually run brush cutting and at least get a couple of brush cutters.
Yes, sir.
What do y'all think of that? We got problems with brush. And it's probably about a $3 million contract.
Why we got one sitting when we got?
Well, what
one
I'm saying,
stood up? And
what I'm saying is, there's some
I
days
don't
if you're shorthanded, the first thing they do is you get the person out of the brush cutter to, help do something else. I'm not saying it's always sitting, but I mean, it, more often than not, that person gets pulled to do something else.
I think the brush cutters need to run all the time.
They
Yeah,
do.
how
That's
many
why I
24/7?
said
How many do we
if we could put them with that, and we ran them with the same kind of people, they would and run them on a route with the mowing, it would work much better. You wouldn't have near the problems you had.
I still got roads that has not been cut since I've been a commissioner.
How is
Ms.
the brush
Deck?
cutting, how is the brush cutting done? I mean, I've had some calls on some of the roads in my district, but is it just squeaky wheel gets?
That's kind of the way it's been, and then every time you try to put it on a route, then you get a call and it just goes over there. That's why I'm saying, if you move it over with the mowing, and you keep it on a route. Then you just take one of them and go get a hotspot if you have to. But if you got to go 8 miles, and then even if you move on low water, you've wasted a half a day. And that happens a lot.
I'm saying 2, but I don't know how many we should look at. Well, then,
I was just going to recommend that we address the OPS item, and then in the special meeting, we're going to be talking about litter, and one of the options in that bid related to some level of brush cutting. And so maybe we could hash that out.
I
during
thought
the
that was
special
behind
meeting.
guardrails.
That's just
It
stuff
is.
going on
I was
ground.
just saying we
Okay.
could discuss
Okay.
brush cutting
Okay, I
in
got you.
general during that
Okay.
item.
all right, well, we have a
Where
motion.
we at?
Yeah, where are we?
So we just need direction on the OPS. Are y'all okay with us staggering it and trying that route?
Why don't we throw this into the other one? Do we need to do that now? Give us time to think about it. Let's put that in special.
Well, it really don't matter this year.
Yeah, right, well.
They're all hired.
Well, it does in this sense, so it won't work exactly this year, the March and April arrangement, but what we need is, are we going to do 6 months only? And we can work out what that looks like to make sure y'all have coverage and to make sure they're only work 6 months. That's really what I'm asking.
And pay them $15 an hour and make that test.
Because it's really 2 options. You either, well, there's more of them too, but at this point, you either pay them 15 and we stick to 6 months, or we need to figure out how we're going to pay them retirement and not pay them 15. Otherwise, you have a very unequitable situation in Road and Bridge, which we're trying to
And they've
avoid.
been hired at 15, and if we had to lower it or whatever, I'm sure some of them probably would leave.
What was their date of hire this year for 2021?
Well, they're all a little different.
They're all a little different. but
How much stagger have we got? I mean,
You're not gonna have on 5 of them, they're kind of at that point, depending on what dates you use. But they're kind of at that point.
Because I always thought
You got
we were-
three,
I
you got
thought we were-
3 of them that, you got 1 that's just been hired 3 weeks ago, and you got 2 that just started Monday.
I thought we were supposed to mow 7 months. I thought it was from March to October. What we talking about, 6?
Yeah, we got in,
The 6 month is the issue of retirement.
Oh, I understand that, but I mean.
So I'm trying to get y'all March to October, but there's no way to do that unless you do March to September with 8 people and then you hire totally 8 different people for October or something, you know, so it gets a little hard to accomplish that.
How much are we saving by not paying retirement? We don't reduce that. I mean, I'm to be honest, I don't know how many of them qualify. Can you go back on Florida State retirement once you retire from Florida State retirement?
Yeah, you have to be out a year.
And then you
go
come back
on.
and part-time qualify. But if they go above a day over 6
If it's
months, they qualify.
If it's what they consider a full-time position. And so that's the ticket.
Yeah, right. Because you get it max also, does our benefits kick in at that point then? Do we have to pay the $11,250 a person for insurance at that point too? Or just?
Yeah,
retirement?
that's the whole other thing, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's what I'm concerned about. If you're a 6 month plus a day, then the Florida retirement is probably the smallest part of that equation. You got somewhere just north of $11 million.
Well,
a
it runs into
year.
a lot of different things. You guarantee them $15 an hour, they start going on Florida State retirement, then it's 3% they have to contribute to the amount that the 10 or whatever the percentage is, I can't remember, percent that we have to contribute.
What did y'all see in the mowing in October? I'm gonna make a statement. It might not be true all over. All I seen of mowing was trash in October.
Yeah, I can't
grass
remember,
is
but.
still growing. It's
It
going
wasn't that really
dormant.
much in
But
this
we had a
last
year.
year.
When the freeze
Last
comes,
year-
I mean, if you get a frost, obviously, it dictates a lot of that.
Yeah,
But
grass
But
starts
if it's
growing,
mowed, it ain't in bad shape.
then it starts going dormant, but then they gotta get caught up.
I think it was trash
November
being
is,
scattered.
yeah. Well, we got a litter pickup, so.
We didn't hear no, that trash
I-
still
Yeah.
there.
I like the idea of staying with the $15 per hour and not paying benefits, as long as, again, that's not been an issue with keeping people hired.
Right.
And it doesn't sound like it has been. And just cutting them off at 6 months, again, as long as we have a system in place where we don't inadvertently allow them to run over. And it sounds like we do have a system in place, or will have a system in place to make sure that doesn't happen.
All right,
So what was the motion?
Man, there ain't been one put. There's not a motion on the floor.
is there a motion? Do I hear a motion?
I didn't-
Make a motion to that effect.
Okay,
that we
have a,
6
a
months,
motion by
$15
Commissioner
per hour.
Donifro to approve hiring for 6-month terms. Second by Commissioner McKinney. Any more questions? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
One question to follow
And
up.
we will discuss
All of it again at the next
Brush
meeting.
cutting.
the brush cutting
Yeah.
and the special
But
meeting.
when is that 6 months? Is you're indicating what month is it to start in?
Whenever they
6
got
months from
hired.
when they were hired.
Oh, I know, but I mean,
March.
but this is just this
But
year.
there's
Now, we
gonna
don't
be,
say.
like I said, there's gonna be some, there's
can
3 of them
address
that's
it
just
later.
been hired, but there's 5 of them that there's probably gonna be some kind of issue. We gotta work that out.
So what I would say this year is, we're gonna just get creative to make sure we keep coverage, keep it at 6 months. And we'll figure that out. Next year, though, I think is when we
Yeah.
kick off the official.
Mowing
Start
season.
mowing
right,
this
please.
day,
Right.
6 months from
Right,
this
that cost us
day.
last year.
So we'll set up some calendar reminders and things like that to make sure we have that ready to roll and where we're not in this predicament.
All right. Thank you, Scotty.
Thank you.
Ms. Carlin Tidwell.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
This item requests board approval to hold the county employee Christmas party on December 14th at 12:00 p.m. to follow the regularly scheduled board meeting. The location of this party would be at the Ag Extension Office Complex on Penn Avenue.
So move, Mr. Chairman, with a question.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hill, a second by Commissioner Pate, who agreed to be Santa Claus. And Commissioner Hill has a
Y'all didn't hear
question.
that?
So.
He's hard to hear.
You're just trying to get it way in advance. I mean, just trying to get it off. so
Yes,
that-
sir. The Ag Extension is starting to get requests now,
Sure,
so they're
okay.
filling up quickly. So we just want to make
Yeah,
sure that we
very
go ahead
good.
and get it on the books.
We shouldn't have anything scheduled anyway for that day. Because
Our meeting
I know,
is
after
on
our
the
meeting.
14th,
Yeah.
That's right.
so it will be after our meeting, right, Ms. Tidwell?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any more questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, item number 18. Ms. Judy.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to give the board an update on the Families First Coronavirus Act, which is called FICRA. And as a part of the American Rescue Plan of 2021, the FICRA Act was extended from April 1st through September 30th. FICRA is designed to provide paid leave to the employees affected by COVID-19. Participation by employers during the extended time frame is voluntary. However, if those employers do choose to participate, they will continue to receive the tax credits afforded under that act. Additionally, we are currently coordinating a COVID-19 vaccination event for county employees. Everybody has been given the opportunity to participate. The schedule will be as follows. The first vaccine will take place on Monday, April the 19th. The second vaccine will be on Monday, May 17th. And I've been told by staff at the health department that immunity is achieved approximately 10 days following the second vaccination. So that would be a time frame of about immunity would be achieved around June 1.
Where would they go for these vaccinations?
We're going to set it up at the EOC. They're going to come. We're going to set up like a pop-up clinic at the EOC, and they're going to come. All the employees will come there.
Do you know how long they will be set up out there?
It'll just be for a few hours that day to.
Scotty, make sure that your employees are aware and you give them time, adequate time to take off and come get the shot if they desire.
Can I do it early in the morning?
I would do it
No,
in the
sir, they're not
afternoon.
available to do it early in the morning. They looked at their schedule for this like next month. They're not available in the mornings. They're only available in the afternoons.
Late?
So this is like, well, yesterday when we talked about 1 o'clock, but I'm gonna call her to see if you can push it back as far as we can.
Mess up the whole day.
Yeah. Right.
Mess up some of the.
Yeah.
No, I want them to get the shot if they want it.
So what
Okay.
I'm doing here is I'm presenting the board with two options. Because the last motion was made by Commissioner Hill back in January to continue to provide those benefits, those paid benefits to the employees through the end of March. So my two options are option one, we can continue to participate in the FICRA Act and provide paid COVID leave through September 1st of 2021. Or option two would be to provide paid COVID leave until June 1st, as all employees are being afforded the opportunity to take the vaccine and would have their immunity achieved by that date. So this is looking for directions from the board on how you want to proceed and with providing those benefits to them.
And the time they take off during this, from now until September, will be covered by this
You
act.
receive tax credits under the FICRA Act.
Okay. Any questions?
I got a question. You said, is it April 1st through September 30th or September 1st?
Through the end of September.
September 30th, okay. So, the difference, Clay, you might be able to speak this, or Judy, what's the difference between reimbursement versus the tax credit?
Yeah.
When it applies to us as a municipality for Bayard? Percentage wise, for dollar, what is the tax credit percentage versus the true reimbursement 100%?
I haven't looked at this. I mean, some things governmentals were not, didn't get the credit for, so I don't know. I can't answer that.
We're not saying it just, I mean, I would still like to extend that because if we're getting arrested, that's the first time I've heard the terminology tax credit. I just didn't know tax credit applied to an entity, public
Not
entity.
to us.
But isn't that what said that we'll get tax
Yes, sir,
credit?
that's the way it
Yeah,
reads.
That's the way it reads.
But
I don't know, again, we
the
clarify.
governmental, did you check, and make sure that the governments get that credit?
That's the way it was described to
Yeah,
us.
I don't know how you get credit.
I know-
People at back.
Okay, and it may very well be, I haven't looked at that. I know before we took the monies that came down
CARES dollars.
the CARES dollars and use those dollars.
Right, but that was dollar for dollar because you're getting reimbursed. But when they throw in the terminology tax
I
credit, how
haven't
you,
looked at it. I cannot.
there's a tax credit on a,
We don't pay taxes, right?
Well, we
That's
pay
a good
payroll
one.
taxes.
Payroll tax.
We pay
Right, that's
payroll
what it's
taxes.
but my question is a little bit one step deeper than that. What percentage of that? Because we got to either budget for it, because if we apply, if we, extend this offer on, what does it cost now to us? Before, I'm assuming we got 100% reimbursement. Is that correct? They were out for 2 weeks. Feds gave us, that was under the
We
CARES
use the
Act.
CARES Act
We
money.
use the CARES Act money to reimburse that. We'll say reimburse it, but on this, is that gonna be a credit or a full refund as the CARES Act?
I don't know. I can't.
Well, we can find out that
Yeah.
information.
Okay.
mean,
And if fact is advised that, I would think they've looked at it.
But what you're saying, Clay, is it's talking about credits on the payroll taxes,
Right.
not on just what we would budget to pay for an employee to be out.
Exactly. It could just.
But there's a
be-
lot of amount difference between a credit
Right.
percentage
taxes.
and
Well, and
reimbursement.
it could be that you just take credit for the tax portion of it.
Right.
And you're still having to foot the bill.
Yeah,
for
and
it.
that's my concern, is how much
Yeah.
that don't cost us.
Can y'all follow up on this and bring it back to the next meeting?
Be glad to.
Because it's very important.
So can I ask a question? If we're gonna table it till the next meeting, we'll bring back the information requested, but in the meantime, we still have people that are, not near as many, but a few cases, occasionally where people are having
I'll make a motion.
positive results for COVID, and how should we?
I'll make a motion that we extend it to, especially to further notice, till we get the next meeting. What's the next meeting date today? Is the 13th, the 27th?
27th.
I vote I did make a motion. We extend it at least to that much till we get more information.
Okay.
So we're going to table this
Table the information.
Are you gonna put
and
that in your?
extend, you're extending
Till
the,
April 27th, until we get the rest of the information, then we'll look at it as a whole.
okay, any
Second
questions?
that.
Second, motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Fate. Hearing no questions, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Judy. Okay. Community development. Ms. Wendy?
Thank you, Commissioners. The first item is a request to set a public hearing for a general development order for a new private borrow pit for extraction of clean dirt. The total project area is a 5-acre portion of an existing 145-acre parcel to be located on the east side of Poplar Springs Road, approximately 1.3 miles south of the intersection of Poplar Springs Road and Blue Springs Road. On April 5th, the Planning Commission recommended approval, but we're just asking to set a public hearing.
Yes, Commissioner Fate.
I'll make a motion to approve the request and set a public hearing for the next board meeting scheduled April 27th at 6 p.m.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Fate and a second by Commissioner McKinney. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Next.
Thank you. The next is to request a variance from section 74-376-6 of the Code of Ordinances for Mr. James Godwin doing business as Alford Powder LLC located at 632 Kokomo Avenue. The applicant has requested to use an accessory structure on his residential property for an office and an inventory storage for online sales of guns and ammunition.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hill,
Second.
second by Commissioner Fate. Any questions? Don't we need to go into public hearing, see if there's anyone in the public?
Mr.
No,
Godwin
it's
is
not a
here
public hearing.
today.
Okay,
Not public hearing.
all right, very good. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0. Ms. Wendy.
And the last item. This is a request for a variance from section 74-97C of the Code of Ordinances for Mr. Joe C. Matthews, located at 6762 Lovedale Road. The applicant has requested to live in an RV on private property
And on April 5th, the Planning Commission recommended approval.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hill,
Second.
second by Commissioner Pate. Any questions?
Are you gonna put any conditions on granting this variance, like the period of time or?
No.
Okay, now, this variance is gonna be for anyone that wanna apply for one towards the
We,
living.
we will be addressing this in the special meeting. Okay, any more questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
All opposed?
Motion carries 4-1. Commissioner Doctor.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Okay.
Oh, no, I thought we'd get around. Okay.
Yeah, we get ready to do the
I know
round
you're gonna
table.
do the rating table in the special meeting.
No, no,
That's
go ahead
fine.
and do it now. All right, Michelle, do you have anything?
I did not. I did forward it to them on their email, but I did not print it.
Is that a yes or a no?
Yes, I just wanted to touch base on the dissolution of JCDC. Ms. Daniel said that she forwarded to y'all information that I got from Clay Milton, who was representing JCDC. It has been dissolved as an entity. There was a distribution of the remaining funds in the bank account, $42,430.70 went to the city of Mariana, and the same amount came to the Board of County Commissioners. And that was just the equal split of what was left in the account. And the articles of dissolution have been filed with the state, so it is a dissolved entity.
I did not see that email miraculously. I never get them. My phone or my computer gets them. But Commissioner Hill had a question.
So does that include the real property? Where's the dissolution on that on? So, I mean, they own properties of real value, so where's that?
Those properties were given, some were given to the county and some to the city. And I asked Clay to give me kind of an accounting of.
When did that happen? Y'all know that?
They brought it to us. I don't know that we accepted it, did we?
Yeah,
Yeah, you did.
I thought we did.
Maybe we did.
I think
We
we,
were discussing the cattle auction company and
That's
Grace.
we're supposed to get that.
And
And
then there's property down here on the, was it west side of Mariana?
There was question the value of all of it.
Yeah. Can you get us a copy of that? I remember that for some reason.
My first thing seeing it was I thought there was more money in there than
there
84,000.
was money in there, but unfortunately,
Payroll took it up.
payroll consumed most of it.
$200,000 or $300,000, I thought.
Right.
Wow.
But it lingered on and payroll laid it up.
Probably so. I've asked Clay to give me that information. He doesn't have that information, so I'm
When
basically
you're
made a public
spending
records request to get that.
When you're spending about 14,000 a month, it goes away quickly.
Wasn't JCDC in the business of making loans as well?
Yes.
They were.
Are all of those closed out or?
I would assume they are. I do not know those. If they dissolved it, I would assume Clay took care of it.
Quick, Clay,
We
that's the
need to
biggest
know.
thing.
Not that
Not
Clay, Clay Milton.
I know.
Y'all did get the real property.
When was it?
This is in October of last year.
What was the division on that?
So
real
they're
estate?
paying rent to us, the ones who are renting it?
Supposed to.
I don't know who's in that right now.
Are they still
What
doing the
properties
chicken
are
and
listed?
goat sale?
Yeah.
Gerald,
Would it be beneficial to have Clay
Yeah.
come to a meeting and, I mean, can Clay answer some of those questions?
I asked Clay about coming to the meeting. He doesn't represent JCDC anymore. So,
So we really don't know what happened.
well, all I can do at this point is request additional information from Bill Stanton.
Which is no longer employee of JCDC. So here,
Somebody has to keep up with the public record. Definitely. I don't know where those ended up.
probably the best source
Yeah.
Jim Dean.
We're just interested.
David may know. David, do you know what happened?
Look at Green.
Come on now, come on back.
Mess up. Okay, anything else, Michelle?
Not on that,
And you'll get us that information correctly?
as best I can.
Again, my only
So
concern.
is there any action that needs to be taken?
No.
So just for information?
Updating you, that JCDC they are dissolved.
But we do need to check into who's renting buildings and.
Well, my concern is if there was
Where the
never a
rent's
yellow
going.
tag on the property, then how do we know we was equally be distributed on
We
the
have
property
no
value?
i- That was our
We
question.
never had a value assessment.
Well, Clay did come and present when y'all accepted the real property. Clay did come and present on that, so.
I don't know that he
I
answered a lot of
think,
questions.
well, the situation I think we were in
Get
was
out of it.
JCDC was basically defunct. They did not have a board. And this was a recommendation, and I think we said, cut our losses and run.
Yeah, because I think the distribution money was 75% county, 25% city, was it?
But they didn't agree to that.
Oh, they did at the end, they did while it was bumping along. though.
Oh, when we were giving money, that's the
Yeah,
way
that's
it
right.
went.
So I just
But
meant,
at
that
the
was
end,
how the money was distributed. That's fine.
Miraculously.
As long as
it
it's
was
treated
50-50.
fairly, that's good.
I guess the question now is who's renting and where's the money going and making sure it's coming to us. That and
Ms.
we know what we
Daniels,
own.
Ms. Daniels will take care
And
of
we know
that.
what we own.
Ms. Daniels, you have anything?
Did you say anything else?
And not myself.
Nothing at roundtable?
I don't say that later.
Okay. I just wanted to take a minute, and I do hate that the sheriff isn't here, though we are happy to have Mr. Birch with us, but to recognize Tammy Mathis and the sheriff and also Christy Andreessen for their efforts in putting together the Easter festivities over all of the elementary schools. It was a tremendous team effort between us, the sheriff's office, and the school board, and I think went a long way in the community for demonstrating what we can do when we work together. And so just wanted to thank them publicly for that.
Thank you. I agree. They did an outstanding job with it.
That's all I had.
Commissioner Donifro.
No, I see that we're going to talk about litter removal, so we'll wait on that.
Yeah, I don't hold mine.
Okay.
I have nothing.
Wait,
Nothing.
I have something, but I'll wait until later. Right now, let's take a Clay, I'm sorry. You're sitting down low. I look right
No,
over
that's
your head.
fine.
Go ahead and give him-
Just to let you know, Danielle's just sick. She's out sick. She's probably listening, I would think. but
Hey, Danielle.
Danielle
Hey, Daniel.
Okay.
would be here.
All right, let's take a 5-minute break. We're in recess.
I guess we needed to
Oh.
end that, didn't we?
What?
To start our special meeting. Adjourn.
Yeah, we adjourn.
And we said, take a break.
Yep. We're adjourned for 5 minutes.
We'll meet in it.
You doing all right?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Excellent. Excellent.